welcome back to another New World video. This time we're doing a little bit of PTR testing and following on from some of our previous videos that I've uploaded. I want to talk just a little bit about the loot bias system. So it's like a new system that's obviously come to New World in the expansion. I've already got a video sort of detailing about it, so I'm going to presume at this point you sort of know what it means. I just wanted to show you it in the PTR and kind of like just have a little discussion, because I think there might be one potential problem with the loot bias system. It's more of a question. I'm hoping some of you guys can maybe help me in the comment section down below, or we can get some answers from the official New World Discord, because I have posted this question in there under the feedback for the PTR section. So fingers crossed we can get a good reply. Now, just before we go into the action, again, I live stream all my New World content over on Twitch. If you want to come and check me out on there, that'll be amazing. We are currently, pushing the numbers on there. It's going really well. You guys are loving all the content at the moment, so I really appreciate everyone who comes over. I'll leave it in the comment section down below. I'll leave it pinned. Feel free to come over, drop me a follow. That would be amazing. And as always, if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. You know the deal. Right, so loot bias system. I presume you all know how it works. Now, I'll get onto my question in a minute. What I'll do is I've done 2 runs of the brand new dungeon. Okay. On the PTR, and I just wanted to show you some of my loot, just to show you how well it actually really does work. And I'm really impressed that New World's brought this out, because I think this solves a lot of problems. So in the past, we all know that we used to get random, let's be honest, random ass gear. You're stuck there, you're getting focus bows, you're getting muskets, and all you want is your tanking gear. You want your swords, you want your shields, you want your warhammers. And I'll be honest, like I said, I've done 2 runs here and it works really well. I was going to hover over some of the gear. I'm not going to talk about all the individual gears, but what I will show you is, first of all, I went in with the flail just to sort of practice it and have a little go at it. I wasn't actually planning on tanking. We just didn't have a tank on the PTR, so I just chucked in some Carnelians. But as you can see, I've gone with a flail, I've gone with a sword, I've gone with a round shield, and all of my gear here is basically dexterity, strength, or potentially there might be a piece of con in there somewhere. So that's what I'm going in with. I'm going in with strength, I'm going in with dex, I'm going in with sword, I'm going in with round shield, I'm going in with flail. Now, you can pretty much already see here, in terms of the weapon drops, now this is 2 dungeon runs, by the way. All of these items here, and obviously the armors, which we'll get onto in a minute, these are all 2 runs. Now, this is probably how much gear, in fact, this is probably less than how much gear you would get in 1 normal run. So they've reduced the amount of loot overall. That's definitely working in the PTR right now. And again, as you can tell, I think like 95% of the items here don't include this great axe, by the way. I got that from one of the OPR caches, so ignore the great axe. But everything else, 95% of the loot that's dropped is a sword, a shield, or a flail. And it's even a round shield as well, which is exactly what we got equipped over there. So that's really good. Now, again, you can talk about, are the perks great or whatever. Some of them no, some of them yes. So perks wise, yeah, we can talk about that potentially in another video. But some of the perks are okay. Some of them are okay. In general, my issue comes with, so basically this is all gear that is dropped from either from a chest or from like the bags that drop from mobs. Now, you know how loot bison works, I hope. You basically, if you want to drop swords, shields, and flails, all you've got to do before you open that chest, whether it's an open world chest or whether it's a chest inside of a dungeon, just make sure you have swords, shields, and flails equipped at the time. And again, all your armor, if you're after that, light armor, do you know what I mean, strength, dex, make sure you got that equipped. And as you open that chest, the bias of the loot is favored to what you're currently wearing. So if you want more tanking gear, wear your tanking gear stuff. If you want more bow and spear gear, make sure you've got a bow and spear equipped, etc, right? You know this, right? This is working perfectly in the PTR, so GG's New World, I appreciate it. As you can see here, you still get that rogue. Again, I said 95% of the loot is perfect. And you could probably still call this perfect, to be honest, because I'm sure you will want the occasional item to drop every now and again. And then you look at it and go, ooh, maybe I will go play musket. Maybe I'll go try it. I've not had the musket drop yet in the expansion. Yeah, let's give it a go. So I feel like 95% of the loot dropping exactly how you expect it to. The loot bias system is very good. And then throwing in the occasional rogue items. I mean, don't get me wrong, not a focus musket. That is absolute garbage. But in general, do you know what I mean? If this was like a dex musket or whatever, that may just make you think, oh yeah, go on, I'll go try musket. So I think that's absolutely fine. I think the loot bias system is perfect when opening items from chests. Now, my question / potential problem comes here. Oh, we also got a named item in the So this is where my question then comes on to. Right. So I've gone in with dex, I've gone in with strength, a little bit of con, I've gone in with swords, I've gone in with shields, I've gone in with flails. Now, all of the chest items that I got were exactly that. 95% of the gear was exactly spot on from what it should be dropping. Now, I got one item here that kind of sticks out from the rest. It's a named item. It's Mammoth's Revenge. I presume you can get this all the way up to 700 gear score. It's an intelligent item. So my question here is, like I said, you change all your gear to exactly what you want to drop from a chest just before you open the chest. However, let's say you're a DPS player like I was here. Well, kind of tank, off tank, whatever you want to call me. Just practicing on the PTR, doesn't really matter. Now, if I wanted, let's say if I wanted a BIS life staff to drop from this dungeon, let's say it does drop from the final boss. Now, in order for loot biasing to properly work, as far as I'm aware, you have to be wearing the gear as the item rolls. So in a chest, the items only roll when you pick it up. In a bag drop from a mob or a boss fight, the loot rolls as the bag drops. So you can't change your gear and then open the bag. The gear's already in the bag, if that makes sense. You can hover over the bag before you even open it. It kind of shows you what's in there. It kind of previews what's in there. So let's say you're a sword and shield player and you actually want the BIS life staff to drop from this particular dungeon as an example. I'm making that up. There's no BIS life staff here. So then you can play healer in the future. Now you can't play healer now because you don't have the BIS life staff. You kind of get the scenario I'm picturing here. So how do we get the gear to drop from bags without going into that fight with the inferior gear? Is that what we've got to do? So if I want a life staff to drop from the final boss, do I have to say to my group, right, now let's all swap roles. I now want to go healer for this final boss fight. I don't have great gear because I'm waiting for it to drop. Do you get what I mean? Do you get where my question comes from? Do you get where my potential issue comes from? Yeah, that's basically it. I don't know how this is going to work. Now, the reason why I've asked the question in general, because I just thought, no, that's not how it's going to work. Sorry, that is how it's going to work. You're just not going to get those items. But then I got this rogue out of nowhere. I think this is from a boss drop as well. Mammoth's Revenge, Intelligence Earring. And I wasn't wearing any intelligence gear. So, do we still have a chance from mob and boss bag drops to still get rogue items? Well, basically items in the loot pool that they will actually drop anyway. So if we're going for that life staff, I don't have to change the healer, right? It's a bit of a question here. I'm waiting for some answers, potentially from the devs in New World Discord. But that's it, really. That's my only question. That's my only potential issue here is, are we going to get our correct gear that we're after with the new loot biasing system from mob bag drops / boss bag drops? Yes or no? If the case is yes, like there's a life staff in that final boss pool in terms of what can drop in the bag, at some point you'll probably get it. As long as you farm it long enough, you'll get it. Then that's absolutely fine. If it actually works the other way, again, comment section down below if you've got this information or you've seen a dev reply already. If it works where the only way you get that life staff from that final boss is if you actually fight the final boss with a life staff equipped, obviously, in your healing gear, I don't really like that. And I think it's a bit annoying because you kind of don't really want to do boss content or whatever with inferior gear. You want to go in there with the best gear possible. You know what I mean? You don't want to be saying to your group, let me play healer for the last boss only, because that's just kind of, unless you're just practicing and you're just rolling or whatever in story modes, but then you're not going to get the highest gear score in story modes. Also, another potential thing that might be broken in the PTR. I mean, look, 692 gear score from story mode. What's going on there? But I think they'll probably fix this. I hope they do, because there's no way we should be getting 8 off the highest gear score from a normal story mode dungeon, but whatever, you get my point. Anyway, chat, I don't want to go on too long. All I want to say is, in terms of items that are dropping from chests, bro, loot bias system works absolutely perfectly. About 95%, 90 to 95% of the items were exactly what I was expecting to drop, with the occasional typical, focus musket in there, just to mix things up, I guess. And then, yeah, we get this from a boss fight. So does this mean that no matter what, if there's certain items, named items in there, you will get a chance to get them, even if you're not equipping those, the similar items? If that's the case, then the entire loot bias system is absolutely perfect. You can dictate what you get from chests, and no matter what, if there's a certain item, even if it's not in your build, you will eventually get it from a boss no matter what, even if you don't play life staff and you're after a life staff. Does that make sense? If that's the case, guys, I hope you enjoyed the loot buy system in the expansion. It's going to be great. It's kind of amazing. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, happy days. It's a perfect feature if that's the case. Again, comment section down below if you find the information, or if I find the information before you do, I'll post a link to it in the comment section down below. And one more time, guys, come check me out on Twitch. That'll be amazing. And like and subscribe, and we'll bring out some more videos soon. I'll see you in the next one.